Hi everyone, Rich Crescenti here with another in our series of videos making music with Melodyne, and this is part 2 of our series covering vocal tuning and editing with Melodyne Assistant. Now in the first video we covered the bigger moves, which were pitch and time. In this video we're going to cover further optimizations. And just like in the other video, we're going to be primarily focusing on the tools that you get with Assistant that are in addition to those that come with Essential. All right, so let's jump in and take a look at this vocal right here. And the first one that I want to talk about is one of my favorite tools within Melodyne, which is our sibilant balance tool. Let's give a listen to this first line right here.
Won't you give me a sign?
Okay, she says, won't you give me a sign? And we get the ch on won't you, and we get the S on sign. And those are both pretty prevalent right there. And you can see those hash marks. Wherever you see those vertical hash marks like that, that is Melodyne telling you that that is sibilant material. And what's cool about that is with Melodyne 5, the sibilant material doesn't get altered when you change the pitch. And that keeps that very natural sounding. Now I want to rein these in a little bit. So I can come over here to my sibilant balance tool and just drag them down a little bit. I'll pull both of these down and let's hear how that sounds.
Won't you give me a sign?
I like it better on sign, but this one I want to pull this one down just a little bit more right there. It's hit pretty hard.
Won't you give me a sign?
That's nice. I like that. Very smooth, very natural. We just sort of even that out a little bit. Now, you can always go in here to note assignment mode and you'll see where it says sibilant handling. If you do not see those vertical hash marks, just go into note assignment mode and there it is, sibilant handling right there. Using the melodic algorithm for vocals, that should be on by default. If for some reason it's not, or you wish to turn it off, you can uncheck that right here. Now, pro tip, this is the melodic algorithm and it's designed for vocals. So that starts out on, but you can also use this algorithm for any monophonic source, such as bass or clarinet. And in those cases, the sibilant handling might actually harm the algorithm a little bit. So be aware of that. And if you're working with something other than vocals, you may wish to turn that off. Excellent. Okay. Now let's look at a situation where an S doesn't quite give me what I want. Using the sibilant balance tool doesn't quite get me where I want to go.
Baby, come around.
Right here where she says, baby, come around.
Baby, come.
This has a hard C on the front of it, and we've got our sibilant balance tool right here. So I can come over here to the sibilant balance tool and pull that down like so, and we get.
Baby, come around.
That solved it in one way, but I don't particularly like the way that that worked. So instead, what I'm going to use is our fade tool. And this allows you to draw a fade in on a word like this. So not only can I draw a fade in on a blob, but I can also adjust the taper of that a little bit. Let's hear this.
Baby, come around.
That's a little too far. I'm going to back off of that fade just a little bit right there.
Baby, come around.
To me, that sounds more natural. I didn't really want to just affect the sibilant portion. I wanted it to ease into it. And now we've given this a much more laid back and natural feel. Okay, that's great for when you want to fade in, but sometimes you want to fade out. So let's take a look at this phrase right here.
That it's all for you.
Okay, I like the way she trails off right there, but I want to fade that word out a little faster. So I can come over here to my fade tool and just draw a fade in. However, because of the way Melodyne analyzed this material, there's a separation right there. And I may want my fade to go a little earlier than that, and drawing in two fades isn't going to work for us. So this is a rare occasion where I might do this. I can come over here to my note separation tool, and I might remove this separation. Now, I want you to be aware of this. When you remove a separation or add a separation, Melodyne will reanalyze all of the data. It's not going to sound any different, although you will lose edits that you've made. But it's still going to be the exact same phrasing, but now it's looking at different information. So you may have to adjust pitch and a few other parameters additionally. Right. So let me come over here and just remove this sibilant balance tool, or excuse me, remove this separation. And now this looks at this as one note. So I'll look at it and I can see right here, if I come over to my pitch tool, I can see it is just a little bit sharp, no big deal. So I'll just bring that down a little bit. But now what I can do is come over here to my fade tool and draw a fade that is appropriate for the audio that I want. Let's check this out. Let me make that a little sharper too.
That it's all for you.
I like that. I might even make it just a little bit sharper and start it just a little bit earlier. Let's hear this.
That it's all for you.
Very nice, very classy, right? Right as that note drops down in pitch, it drops down in level 2, which sounds very smooth and natural. And I like that a lot. Okay, now here's another situation where a fade won't really help us because the problem is that the beginning of the word is a little too low in volume. So fading in is not going to help us right here. And this is this phrase. Check this out.
You could say or do.
Okay, so the Y on you is a little bit soft and the D on do is a little bit soft right there as well. So this is a case where I would want to use my amplitude, but I don't want to make the whole word louder. I just want to make the beginning louder. So we could come to our note separation tool and just drop in a separation like so. You're a little bit guessing though about where to make that separation. So there's a few ways that you can make sure that you get the separation where you want it. One is you can come into note assignment mode and come over here to your note separation tool and adjust the amount of potential note separations that we've got, like so. But even still, that can sometimes give you a few or too many and not exactly be where you want. So in this particular case, I would solve this a different way. If you right-click on your context menu and come to your note separation tool in the edit window, you'll see there's another function right here, which is separate note. And what's nice about this is this separates this note at the first logical place where it would separate. And we get that right there. And now that is just the Y portion of you right there. This is great. So now I can come to my pitch tool and fix this one a little bit, fix this one a little bit. And now I want to take this Y on the word you and make it louder. So I'll come over here and increase this in volume like so. Let's check this out.
You could say.
It's a little abrupt, the change in volume though. So this is a perfect time to point out that just like pitch has transitions, volume and amplitude have transitions as well. And as you hover towards the end of this blob, you see this little cantilevered X. This allows me to transition the amplitude change, just like so. So now I can make this beginning louder and make it a more smooth, natural change. Let's hear this again.
You could say or.
That sounds so much more intentional, and I really like that. Now, same thing on this word do right here. I could come to the menu and choose separate again. However, within the Melodyne hotkeys, if you come to settings and go to preferences and choose your shortcuts, you can look at all of the Melodyne shortcuts and you can even change whatever key triggers that if you want. S is the default for separate. So I can select this note right here and then hit S and it will just separate the D on do right here. Exactly what I wanted. No guessing, exactly where I want it. So I'll do the same thing here. I'll take this amplitude tool and I will increase this in volume and then come over here to where it is cantilevered and just ease it out a little bit. And let's give this a listen again.
You could say or do.
That's nice. I like that a lot. I might actually take the whole thing now and just decrease it in volume a little bit to even it out.
You could say or do.
That's nice. That is just, again, more intentional, more deliberate in this performance right there. I like that a lot. All right. Now, let's look at another type of phrase we have right here where our singer is phrasing something and we want to alter this a little bit, right? We looked at the timing tool in the previous video, which allows you to move and stretch or shrink any of these blobs. But what happens when you want to change the phrasing within one given blob? Well, our timing tool right here has two additional tools to do that. There is our attack speed tool and the time handle tool. I want to start with the attack speed tool, which is this one right here. And if you'll look, you'll notice all of these blobs have these circles at the front right there. That's telling you that you're using the attack speed tool. And what this allows you to do is affect the initial portion of the note, the very early portion of the note, to either speed up how quickly it gets to maximum amplitude, or slow that down. If you speed up the beginning of the note, it will slow it down somewhere else to even it out, so it doesn't change the entire length of the note. This is great for dealing with just the very, very, very front portion of a note, and this is a nice way to do that. Let's hear this word right here. I want to work on this one.
Know how your heart tends to.
Okay, we hear tens, and she really hits it hard and then dips down a little bit. So I want to increase the speed where we get to this steady note right here. So I'm just going to, using my attack speed tool again, I'm going to drag up a little bit on that, and you'll notice it's shrinking this early portion right here. Let's give this a listen.
Know how your heart tends to swim.
Nice, I like that. That gets me part of the way there. Now, the other part is where I would use something like this time handle tool right here. And this allows us to drop in a time handle and then stretch or shrink on either side of it. So this is a great place. I might drop this in, say, right here. And once that time handle is in place, you can see that dot right there. I can just drag this over and it will shrink the beginning and stretch the other side of that. Let's hear how this sounds.
Know how your heart tends to.
I like that. And now if you think that the T hits a little bit hard, that's okay. You could come over here to your sibilant balance tool and bring it down just a little bit right there. Again, you can always see what you're adjusting right here. Let's hear this one more time.
Know how your heart tends to.
I like that a lot, right? That just, again, more deliberate, more intentional, a little bit less of an affectation. Whether or not you want that affectation is always entirely up to you. It's just important to know how to use these tools. All right, let me show you another great part about the time handle tool, which is in this word glad right here. Let's listen to this.
But I'm glad long.
Okay, now I really like that she holds this A and then hits vibrato, but I want that hold, I want that to last a little bit longer, but I don't want to lose this D portion right here at the end. So this is in another case where I can use the time handle tool, but I'm going to use two time handles here. I'm going to use one for the portions that I want to stretch and another one to anchor that end of that word in place. So now as I move this first one, on either side it will stretch or shrink, but on the other side of this second handle will be left alone. So let's extend this a little bit right here and let's see how this sounds.
But I'm glad long as you're.
Nice, I like that. I like that hold and then switching over to the vibrato. That sounds pretty cool to me. Big fan of that. Okay, one more thing that I want to go over is our formant. Now, some of you may have seen the formant tool before. You can find it on the menu right here under the formant tool, and you'll see it makes this orange bar that goes over all of the blobs. The formant is the unpitched portion of your voice. It's why your voice sounds different in the morning from the evening, or why older people sound different than younger people. And this is something that I'll kind of do at the end as a last little bit of a tweak. Abby's voice is amazing, so what I'm doing right here is some real nitpicking, but again, it's nice to have the tools to control what you would like. Now, where I sometimes see a use for a formant is when people tend to jump up really high to a new note or drop way down. They kind of change the way that they're singing the note. You'll hear a slightly different character on this portion right here than was before it, but you'll also notice when she drops down here, there's a very different character in that vocal. Let's hear this. All right, you can hear on the word yeah, it falls down to the back of the throat right there. This is a very common thing that singers do. You may decide to change it or not, but I want to show you how to do this right here. So since these notes are dipping down a little bit right there, I'm going to select these three right here and just bring these formants up just just a little bit. Subtlety here is going to be your friend. Same thing here. This one dipped way down. I heard a little bit of it right there. So I'm going to bring this up as well. And if I really wanted to be picky, I might take these two and bring them down to here so that they're the same as this note. All right, let's hear this again in bypass. And then with those changes. I like that a lot. It takes when she dips down to that note that would normally kind of drop away a little bit and brings it right back up to the top in the focus where it should be. Hope you've enjoyed this today. Thanks.